Hello YouTube, I'm Michael Morgan. This is Retro Reviews. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to be reviewing an underrated 90s comedy classic, Multiplicity. Before I get into the review, as always, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button on this video, share this video. If you'd like to support us over on Patreon, we're at patreon.com/retro reviews. And before I get into review, let you know there will be spoilers ahead. Okay, now the movie Multiplicity was released in the summer of 1996. It stars Michael Keaton as Doug Kinney. He's a busy building contractor. He doesn't have a lot of time for his wife, who's portrayed by Andy McDowell, or a lot of time for his family, or just time to kick back and do something that he would like to do. And so one day. Keaton's character Doug Kinney is working at a job at his genetics facility, and one of the doctors at this facility talks Keaton into getting himself cloned. And which, there's been times in my own life I thought, man, it'd be nice to have a clone. I could go send him take care of the stuff that I don't want to deal with, and this is at first, with the second clone, who's called number 2, things are going great. He's clone 2 allows Michael Keaton free time to take on some other projects that he wants to do, but then eventually, Keaton's Doug Kinney and Clone 2 decide that they're too busy. They need another one, and so Keaton gets himself cloned again, and then of course 3 of them get busy, and then so they decide to make a clone from one of the clones, and unfortunately that particular clone was number 4. He's not very helpful in the grand scheme of things, and he's not quite as sharp as he should be. But this is just a fantastic movie. This was also directed by the late great Harold Ramis, who wrote and directed a lot of great movies. Groundhog Day, the First Vacation movie, and so I mean this movie is just a great recipe for a good time. And Michael Keaton just does such a masterful job of playing 4 characters with 4 distinct personalities. I mean, I'm sure that was quite a bit of work, because you see him. He's in 4 different outfits. Each character has their own personality. So like Clone 2, he's kind of the gruff macho side of a Doug Kinney's personality. And then you have Clone 3. He's a little more on the sensitive side. And then you have a clone 4, who's is, as they say in the South, is cornbread's not done in the middle. But you see the just a comedic genius that Michael Keaton. Of course, I mean, it's come through with his other movies, Mr. Mom and Gung Ho, Beetlejuice. And also he's able to do action with the 2 Batman movies that he was in. He's also done some serious drama as well. But Keaton is at his just shines so well in this movie with his comedic skills. Now of course, this movie came out in 1996, so some of the so when all the clones or Keaton appears as multiple characters on the screen at the same time, unfortunately the technology wasn't quite there in 1996, but it's not going to stop you from enjoying the movie. It's not going to pull you out of the movie at all. And also Andy McDowell, she does a great job playing Keaton's wife in this movie. This is just another great 90s movie with Andy McDowell. Of course, she was in Groundhog Day. She was in that John Travolta angel movie, Michael. And so it's just a lot of hijinks in this movie. As for example, Doug decides that he's going to go out of town for a few days, and then and of course there was one rule that all the clones have to follow. It's to stay away from Doug's wife, and there's just a lot of comedic mishaps. They all end up breaking the rule. Too, and through all of this, I mean, it's also through the clones that Doug really learns about the trouble that's going on in his marriage, and how although he's a contractor, he doesn't he's not hasn't fixed the things around the house that need to be fixed. Of course, he has no time to work on his marriage and his relationship with his kids. But it's very, very it's also it's very, very touching at the toward the end of the movie. But when Keaton brings when Keaton and the clones get together, they fix up the house. And of course you get the storybook ending with the movie. They're things are progressing in their marriage. And things are starting to go on the right track. Yeah, but this is just a great family comedy. And unfortunately, not very many of these kind of comedies get made today. I don't know if this would actually get made today. But this movie has a great supporting cast. Not only Andy McDowell, but there's also Eugene Levy. He plays an unscrupulous subcontractor that Doug has to deal with. You also have Brian Doyle Murray. He has a small part. And you also have if you're a fan of the TV show Modern Family or the movie Happy Gilmore, Julie Bowen. She has a small supporting role in this movie as well. Harold Ramos's direction is just spot on in this movie. Too, and I think one of the reasons why this movie is not as applauded today as it should. I mean, I was just doing a little research for the movies, looking up, according to an Internet Movie database, Multiplicity actually underperformed at the box office. It only made back $21 million on a $45 million budget, so it wasn't a big money maker. But of course, this because of how much money a movie makes is not an indication of quality at all. I mean, just look at the Fast and Furious and movies and the Michael Bay Transformers movies for proof of that. But too, I think why Multiplicity underperformed the way it did was it had the unfortunate timing of coming out just 2 weeks after Independence Day. Which was, the massive hit of the summer of 1996, and that is saying a lot because there were some tremendous movies out that summer. You had Independence Day, you had Twister, you had Mission Impossible, and this wasn't the only comedy that came out that summer either, because you also had the first Nutty Professor movie with Eddie Murphy. You had the Leslie Nielsen spy spoof Spy Hard. So, I mean, but this is just, I mean, I highly, highly recommend that you get your hands on a copy of Multiplicity. I'm sure you can probably find it on streaming somewhere if you don't want to take the time to go to like a used media store by you. But this is a good time. Everybody in your family is going to enjoy it, especially if you have small children. They will definitely probably gravitate toward the number 4 character. But this is just it's something. This is a good reminder of the importance of family. It's about the importance of taking care of things at home. Reinforces a couple sticking together throughout the hard times. And that is layered in with just great comedy. As I said, I highly, highly recommend that you get a copy of Multiplicity. I thank you for joining me today, and be blessed.